Hello, everyone. I want to take some time to talk about Destiny 2 now that we're in that in between period between seasons, and just let you know how things went for me this time. This time around, I kind of had an idea of what to do, so I was able to just jump in. This season's story involved us getting into a Vex simulation that created an endless night, and so we needed the help of Mithrax, who was an Elixni, who also was trying to help other Elixni escape Europa. So it turns out that Ikora and the rest of the Vanguard decide that they will house the Elixni in the city while Mithrax helps us find out how to stop the Endless Night. In order to do that, Mithrax has to teach us how to splice, which is a technique of, I guess, communing with machines so that we're able to invade the Vex simulation area. Meanwhile, there's this other story that involves the prejudices towards the Elixni who have come to the last city. And it's based on true pain. There has been hundreds of years of interactions between the fallen and the people of the last city and just humanity in general. So when they see these Elixni, it just reminds them of all of that previous pain. However, this is cartoonishly spearheaded by Lakshmi, who just is so evil and hateful towards the Elixni, who these people are not the same people who did the previous stuff, but at the same time, Lakshmi claims that she sees visions of some kind of destruction or some kind of something happening that she sees the Elixni being a part of it. So she's using that as a way to instigate violence towards the Elixni by getting the people of the city to rise up. And so that's the basic story up to this point in the story. It goes further, but I'll stop here because we have to talk about the activity for the season. So we have Override, which is it's Gambit. I mean, basically it's PVE Gambit, and the thing is, Gambit is already PVE, but there's no real PvP element to this version of Gambit, I guess. And the override activity, I mean, it's a smaller map, but we basically kill enemies. We collect motes. We can evade the enemy side and kill it. We can bring something back and we can bank it in the bank or take it to the bank. Tell me how you would say that in the comments below. See, the thing is, I don't mind Gambit so much, but like Override is a smaller map and there's 6 Guardians playing, which should be cool. Like, I like the idea of having multiple people doing an activity, but I just feel like this is too many people. It's not bad, but like, I just feel like we're all competing for kills, and there's just so many times where I'm just kind of hanging back because there's just so many people here. The other thing I don't enjoy is that, like, if we're not all together during the invasion part, or at least the part where we finally go into the network, like if you lose or if you die or something like that, like there's no reason to continue running because like you're going to get pulled forward. You have no time to like get back to where you were, so it makes you feel like you have to do it the first time or that's it, and I don't really like that. It makes you feel like you're not playing the game. Okay, so this season we have like a Gambit kind of thing. Last season we had Battlegrounds, and that was basically a strike. It might have been a little bit smaller than a normal strike, I'm not sure. But that makes me think next season is going to be some kind of Crucible thing. So imagine, if you will, we have the Taken putting up Blights everywhere, and we gotta go clear out those Blights. But oh no, here comes the Scorn coming into our zones. We gotta go stand in that circle for a little bit. Here we go. I actually mentioned that to my friend, and he actually became upset. Yeah, I know. But I imagine if they were to do something that's kind of like a Crucible thing, it would be a more PvE version of it. I'm just not sure how they're going to do that. I don't know. And again, I'm just guessing. I don't actually know for definite sure, but I'm just guessing because of the patterns we've had so far. Makes me feel like we're going to do something that feels like Crucible. I'm just not sure which kind of Crucible. Usually it's Control, but it could be something else. But I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there. The other thing we had this season was Expunge. This was kind of cool. It was an activity that was different every week. I appreciated that. I also was able to do it solo, but I also play with my friends sometimes. It wasn't enough to make me want to keep going back and forth to it. Like, yeah, it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't want to run it over and over. So later, we hit the point in the season where I feel like the real story was revealed. Up to this point, it was a story of the city and Lakshmi against the Elixni and all the prejudices and hatred and all that stuff. But anyhow, we discovered that Savathun was actually behind the events of the Endless Night through Korea, and we also discovered that Savathun is much closer than we previously thought. So imagine one day I turn on the game and I'm going to go to Banshee, I'm going to get my bounties, all that stuff, and I get to the tower and there's blights everywhere. It was just like just blights, and it was just a surprise. I was not expecting it. I don't think anybody was. It's just a little bit weird that no one's acknowledging it. Like Savala and Banshee and Ada, no one's saying anything. It's kind of weird. But this was the point where I felt the story became much more interesting. Up to this point, I kind of felt like this was a seasonal story that was just going to be its own thing. I mean, I think it would have had some kind of like lingering effects long term, but on its own, it was just one story of us helping the Elixni who was helping us. And we will have Elixni as a part of our time now at the tower and in the city. But I didn't know that it was going to feel like this, where it feels like it connects directly to the Witch Queen. The only problem is that the Witch Queen is not until 2022. And that's not like even like January 2022. It might be like March. It might be February or March. I'm not sure. Now, I want to circle back to last season. So Kaido just goes away and like disappears. Like, we don't hear from her at all. And I know that we had some sort of agreement or truce made where she agreed to not continue to push for her alliance with us. I understand that, but I just feel like after everything was said and done, that Kaido actually respected and liked us. So I would have thought that if there was an issue, that she may want to offer some kind of help. Like, I know that she doesn't have the alliance with us, but I think that she would still be concerned about, like, if there were no guardians, then her concern about the hive and trying to beat the hive could not happen. You know, so it just seems weird to me that there's just nothing. I also feel like the absence of Crow in the story is weird because he was important for a while and suddenly he's not. So it just feels weird that he's not a part of the story. I guess once you have enough people talking, you don't want to pay more people to talk, I guess. Oh, and if you go to try to play Battlegrounds now, it's a deserted island right now. Like, literally, there's no one playing. And the reason why I know that is because I was working on the catalyst for the Skyburner's Oath. And so I thought, well, if I want to kill Cabal, I can just do Battlegrounds. The thing is that I sat there waiting to get on a match for a long time just to get one match. And so it just took forever. I mean, eventually I got the catalyst done, but it was combined with doing some Battlegrounds and some other stuff where I could find Cabal in the world. Like in the EDZ, there were some places where Cabal appear a lot, so I did that. Also, people have been hating on the Hunter's armor ornaments. It's so good. Have you seen it? Okay, so you have a hoodie, a sweater, a turtleneck, and a pop collar, and pressed slacks. And you have these extra pouches in case you need extra pocket space. It's so good. I don't know why people are just hating on this. So you could be ready for your college party or your job interview or your casual outing. My God, it's so good. I was looking for some kind of douchey pink, but I don't have all the shaders yet. But man, that would be chef kiss. I don't know why people aren't appreciating this more. Also, your hunter will stand there and like look at you and like have the look on his face like, I dare you to judge me. I don't care how I look. So this season, I played a little bit more on my own than usual. My friend wanted to take a break from the game, and that's fine too. So I took some time on my own to do some of the stuff I had lingering around. I worked on a lot of catalysts or catalyze. I don't know. Tell me in the comments below. Anyway, I did a bunch that I could do. The problem is, and I'm not sure why Bungie created these, but some of these catalysts you have to do PvP. It's because it says you have to get Guardian kills. But what if you don't play PvP? Look, I go into Crucible on rare occasions to try to get some bounties done. Something that is supposedly easy, but it takes me a lot longer to do them because I'm just lost. I don't belong here. My other issue is that sometimes when you play Crucible, it doesn't even count. Like, you have to get 3 matches or something to get the reward or whatever. And I'm sitting there like playing the matches and like one of them counted out of 3. And so I just sit there, I'm like, I'm not going to keep playing this if it's not going to count. I just think it's frustrating that if you want to use a weapon in PvE, I have to play PvP, even though I don't really play PvP. Like, I guess they want to encourage more people to play PvP, but like, if you are late to the party, you're walking in with people that know what's going on, and you don't have time to learn what's going on. So you're the easy target. I wanted to see if I could earn the Ascendant Shard from Shax, but I don't think that's going to happen. I did do the one for Gambit. I started Gambit like pretty early in the season, and I did all the matches and everything, and eventually I got to the point where I got that Ascendant Shard. The other thing I noticed is that later on in the season, Gambit was also another desert island. Like, there was no one really playing. And so that became an issue later on because I started trying to do stasis for my hunter. And there's some requirements where you have to play Gambit matches with stasis and stuff like that. So I was trying to do it, and like, it took a long time to get some matches going. So on a note of stasis for my hunter, I still don't really like the process because I did it with my Warlock first, and I probably won't do it for my Titan anytime soon, if at all. I probably eventually will, but not right now. So I didn't like that I had to re-earn the grenades because I felt like since the grenades are the same for all classes, for everybody, those should be unlocked already. I guess it's because there's story tied to them, but it still feels like they're the same. So why do I have to unlock those? I'm happy the fragments are carried over. Aspects make sense to me because they're different for each class. So I'm okay with earning my aspects, but still. Oh yeah, there was the nerf that happened this season. So last season, they mentioned that they were going to be nerfing stasis, and this season it actually happened. I want to say that as a warlock, as a warlock, I got off pretty easy because the big nerfs seem to happen with Titans, but I will still say that it feels noticeable. The way that I used to play with stasis, I felt like I can't do that anymore. Again, I played mostly PvE, but what I would do is like there'll be enemies grouped together and I would aim at the ground with my melee attack and I could freeze a bunch of people at one time, making things a lot easier for myself. But it feels like the amount of freezing that you can do by doing that is much less because the range of the ice doesn't really freeze that far away as it used to. It also feels like my melee and my super doesn't track as well as it used to. So I have to really be good at aiming it. And I used to just kind of be in a general direction. And I know that that was a problem for PvP people, but in PvE, I don't like the idea of nerfing something that's strictly for PvP, but it has a generalized effect for everybody, even if you only play PvE. So I don't like that. I hope they figure this out, but I don't think they're going to change anything. So this season, re-released Vault of Glass. Honestly, that kind of means nothing to me because I wasn't here when it was around the first time. And also, I'm not up to power and I don't have a fire team and all that stuff. So I wasn't able to do it. Maybe in the future. I know some people would say, find an LFG. And I say, have you met some people on LFGs? Like, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes these people are terrible. Sometimes they're horrible, like awful people, actually. They have all these requirements where you have to have a certain power and a certain subclass and a certain weapon and a certain armor piece. And if you don't even have that stuff, they won't let you join their team. So there's that. I mean, especially if you don't even know how to play the raid, they may even just say no because you don't know how to play it. So, and the other thing, I guess for this season, there's two more things actually. So we had the final Expunge mission to go kill Korea, and it was just an extended version of the Expunge missions we had so far, where we did multiple ones. I feel like the boss fight itself was not really that hard in the grand scheme of things. Like there was some challenge to it and all that, but if you think about it, it really wasn't. It wasn't at a level that you would expect. If this is supposed to be Korea, it's supposed to be a big deal. It makes you feel like this is not really the end of Korea. Like there's something else going on. I'm recording this before the season actually ended, so if something happens at the very end of the season and I put this video out, that's why. But I'm recording this before the season has ended. So anyway, it feels like maybe Savathun planted this for us, or it was a distraction or some kind of test or something, but we're not sure yet. It hasn't happened yet. The season's not really over, but maybe it won't be revealed until later, like beyond this season. And the last thing is Solstice. It's okay, I guess. This is the first time I've done it. It's okay. I don't really know, what else I'm supposed to do with it. The thing is, you have these armor pieces you have to complete, and again, there's one I have to do guardian kills, so it's not going to get done. It's just going to be sitting there. This season started off a little bit slow, but it picked up sort of by the end. So overall, this season was fine. I might be in the minority here, I'm not sure, but I kind of like last season more. I guess I just like the story that was told with Kaido being like not really an evil villain, but like finding some sort of trust with us and starting to like us and actually finding some kind of common ground. I like that. I know it doesn't directly connect to the Witch Queen like this season appears to, but at the same time, Witch Queen is not happening right next season. We have another season in between. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how things are going to go. We might even have two seasons in between. I'm not sure because August, I guess that would end in November. And then we have from November to February. And that's if the Witch Queen starts in February. So I don't know. We'll have to see. And so we're looking forward to the future. We hear that Bungie will be nerfing Anarchy, which is... it's a really good weapon and it's supposed to be good. Like that was the point. It is a really difficult to get weapon, very time consuming to get. So I don't know. They may nerf it and it may still be good, but it just doesn't sound fun to hear that you worked hard to get something like that and then they nerf it. So that's never fun. I'm also not looking forward to Bungie nerfing Top Tree Dawnblade. So I discovered that class at the end of last season because I got Sunbracers, and I've never felt so powerful. I was able to throw my melee attack, kill an enemy, and then just throw multiple grenades at one time. By the time the time limit ends, you get like 4, maybe 5 grenades. It makes you feel pretty good, and I don't know. I don't want them to take that away from me. It just sucks. So because I heard that, I started preparing by trying out other classes and seeing what works for me, because I should play with multiple classes, but man, I like the top tree Dawnblade. I don't know how bad it's going to get. I don't think they'll ever do what they did to the middle tree Void, because that was, yeah, that's a bad one. I tried out that class for the first time, and I have to say that the super feels okay. Like the feeling of it is fine, but it's not strong. Like you have to be super close to your enemies if you want to use it. So yeah, it's not one I want to go for. Anyhow, I'm looking forward to the next season and eventually Witch Queen. I'm really interested in the new powers that may come along, whatever that might be. Um, it seems like it's going to be some kind of like poison or corruption or something like that, similar to like the Thorn hand cannon or necrotic grip gloves. So that might be what they're going for. The other power could be similar to Wither Horde. That's like a blight kind of thing, or it could be something completely different. You never know. Anyhow, tell me what you thought of this season. Tell me what was your favorite part, what you enjoy, what didn't you like, and what you're looking forward to. And anyhow, I'll see you all again on my next video. See ya.